For generations, women have fought to be seen, heard, and respected. They have marched for their rights, shattered glass ceilings, and claimed spaces where they were once unwelcome. But how far have we truly come? What challenges still remain? And can we still be hopeful for the advancement of women in a changing world? My name is Fateli Kamuloshi. This is the show. Here's what's coming up. In Uganda, sex workers fight for their right to work as decision makers insist on criminalizing their trade. Across the continent in Nigeria, we meet Lagosians finding ways to party safely in a city known for nightlife. And in our My City series, we roll through Ethiopia's capital, Addis Ababa, with a group of skaters who show us their city on wheels. But before we glide into the program, here's a look at the ongoing fight women face to live, work, and thrive.
Across Africa, more women than ever are stepping into political leadership. This is because remarkable strides have been made towards equality since a wave of African nations became independent in the 1960s. Women's rights are now part of national agendas in most sub-Saharan African nations. Women-led businesses are driving economic growth, and there's even a rising female presence in media. Yet, despite this progress, gender-based violence perpetrated by men is a growing concern. The numbers are shockingly high. According to the United Nations, roughly 1 in 3 women globally experience physical violence by an intimate partner. And Africa, as a region, records the most femicides. The real figures may be even higher as many of these cases go unreported.
Women are not safe. We need to just let women live. We do not want to be saved. We don't want, it's not about being protected. It's just about being left to exist, in peace and without worrying about our lives.
These words reflect a dark reality. As more women take on leadership roles, gender-based violence is also on the rise, and systemic barriers to political participation persist. Wars and conflicts, like those in Congo and Sudan, make things even worse, causing deep harm to women and children. So while this progress is happening, challenges like violence, patriarchy, and strict gender roles still stand in the way. Things that do not stand in the way of men.
Women were not trusted to be in the highest position of the governing in any country. One of the challenge is people who still have that perspective of no women in higher position.
For women, it's a lot harder to have that capital to vie for a political seat. It's also one of the most expensive things to do in this country. Vying for a political seat is very expensive even for the lowest seat as a council. A lot of them disowned, and the harassment they receive, which is just not online, digitally, but also physically.
Women face extreme cyberbullying, from online harassment to the growing trend of revenge porn. So while the great gains made by women in politics, business, and media are worth celebrating, society still has some major catching up to do.
Truer words have hardly ever been spoken. One of many areas where female participation is on the rise is football. So let's start with a young woman redefining possibilities on and off the pitch. How many female referees do you know? Not as many as their male counterparts, right? Mbemisola Yusuf is breaking barriers in a male-dominated field as both a football referee and a skilled seamstress. She proves that determination and passion are a powerful combination.
In the bustling city of Lagos, amidst loud streets and crowds where many dreams remain unfulfilled, one young woman defied odds and expectations. Gbemisola Yusuf, a 21-year-old football referee, turned her dream into reality.
The challenges I face in refereeing is like me officiating among the male referees, the male players. They're always like, who is this small girl? Who is this girl that wants to be controlling us on the field of play? Well, I usually tell them that it's not about you being small, it's about the thing you can do, the ability you have in you.
Breaking into football officiating was never easy, but Gbemisola never retreated from a challenge or making the right call. And that includes being in peak physical shape to call the shots.
What I do to be relevant in the male-dominated field is that And early in the morning, I go to training. After my training work, I read the laws of the game. I try to work on myself. And if I do a match a day before my training program, I try to do 1 or 2 things that will help me to improve on what I lack on the field. I do that in practice, so that next match I'm going to do better and more.
She's not just breaking barriers, but setting a new standard. And Gemisola has impressed her mentors along the way, like Dele Atun.
Mentoring her is very easy because she's very passionate. She's also very disciplined. I can say that because you also see the environment she grew up. The first thing that stood out for me is the courage. You know, because as at that time, we even have people that are older than her, that we are still training, and they are not courageous to be at the middle and official. But she came and she wanted to be in charge, even as a young girl.
Off the pitch, Gemisola likes a sharp look. Her second job as a tailor is to turn fabrics into clothes with style.
This is one of the clothes I just finished sewing. It is Guinea material and it's made of cufflinks and with another style of embroidering.
It might be a different pitch, but the skills are transferable, and unlike her role as a referee, here she doesn't need to follow the rulebook.
I apply my referee duties to my tailor work because, like, sometimes when I'm officiating, when I see a player like his stature, I'll be like, will this design match these players' personalities? Because there are some players, you see them, they are huge, while there are some players, you see them with their minor body. So I'll just be like, would this design make sense on this person?
With determination, a strong work ethic, and a deafness towards naysayers, Gemisola quickly rose through the ranks. From local games to international tournaments, she proved that skill and determination speak louder than stereotypes.
My advice to the young girls that want to become a referee and want to go find referee officiating is that don't set your limits. Just keep pushing, keep training, keep reading the laws of the game, and don't believe that you can't do it. Believe you can do it, and surely you will do it.
When the final whistle blows, most go home. Not Gemisola. She's already reviewing game tape to improve.
Zone B girls competition, and our referees for today are from Nigeria, Cote d'Ivoire, and Togo. So the center referee is Yusuf Gemisola Shiloat. She's from Nigeria.
Her biggest dream is to represent Nigeria as a referee at a FIFA World Cup tournament. And Gemisola's story has made others believe too.
Well, Gemisola is taking advantage of every opportunity. In a world filled with stereotypes about what women can and can't do, she's opening doors for others to step into spaces once considered off limits. She's made me believe too. Some women face a different kind of struggle, one for dignity, safety, and recognition. In Kampala, Uganda's biggest city, some women rely on sex work, not out of desire, but out of necessity. It remains a means of survival for countless women, despite it being illegal in the country. Activists say decriminalizing sex work would help protect them. But the deeper question is, do these women truly have a choice?
A busy night in Kampala's Red District of Waise. Young men and women trade in the shadows of the city. For some, it's a source of pleasure. For Jennifer, whose real name is withheld, it is a means of survival.
From this income, we pay school fees for our children, we pay rent, support our livelihood and other people. Our job should be decriminalized and respected like any other job.
But sex work is no ordinary job in Uganda. It has been punishable by law since colonial times.
Other than being illegal, it is immoral. It is completely unacceptable to Ugandan societies.
But a Ugandan lawmaker is challenging this stance. Foxodo is advocating for protection, not persecution, of sex workers like Jennifer.
If you criminalize sex work, you will only drive sex workers underground. You will drive them to very unsafe spaces where they are molested, where they are exploited, where they are not paid, where they are tortured. And that's precisely where we are now.
Jennifer says she was raped by a man posing as a client at night. She reported the case to the police. But fearing that pursuing justice could expose her identity as a sex worker to her family and the public, she took a tough decision to withdraw the case.
I was in a very bad state, empty and sick. I wasn't ready to pursue the case to conclusion, especially with a little child to take care of as a single parent.
Activists say that cases like Jennifer's are all too common. They hope that decriminalizing sex work will help victims seek justice and support.
Because when we decriminalize, then it creates an enabling environment for us to protect the minors or the young girls who are engaging into transactional sex. Two, it also creates an environment where sex workers are empowered enough to access health services without fear, without feeling stigma, without feeling discriminated, but actually they are willing to actually even report cases of violence where they have been violated.
We cannot legalize prostitution. That is out of the question. So those who are trying to say we should actually forget about it, because in Uganda that cannot happen. We cannot accept legalization of prostitution as a form of employment. It's unacceptable.
Despite being a crime, sex work continues in the shadows. With the laws rarely enforced, Jennifer says that she has no choice but to risk venturing in what society has already judged as immoral.
Well, that doesn't only pose a legal battle, but a fight for agency, autonomy, and the right to exist without fear. But beyond trying to survive in unsafe work environments, many women face an even greater threat: violence in their own homes. Gender-based violence in Nigeria continues to rise despite ongoing advocacy. More than 30% of Nigerian women report experiencing physical violence. But amid these harrowing statistics, one organization is turning pain into power, using their experiences to educate communities and empower women through their advocacy. Trigger warning: this report contains upsetting descriptions of violence. And I won't be surprised.
Here in the Mokoko community of Lagos, Faith Ogbonna is turning her pain into purpose. Women in this room are survivors of gender-based violence, including Faith. She has dedicated her life to educating and supporting women who feel trapped, helping them reclaim their voices.
Gender-based violence are in different forms, and majority of the times it has to be with people very close to you. People that should protect you are not the ones hurting you.
Faith's work, and that of others like her, is a beacon of hope in the battle to stop gender-based violence. According to the World Health Organization, 1 in 3 women worldwide will experience physical or sexual abuse in their lifetime, a staggering reality.
I was raped from the age of 5 till I was 17, and ranging from cousins to uncles to nephews to aunties, I had gang rape, and it was a bitter experience because it happened right under my father's roof. If See Hope can bring me out of the darkness, I can do the same to other people.
The Centre for Children's Health, Education, Orientation and Protection, or See Hope, is one of 4 privately owned shelters in Lagos. Founded by journalist Betty Abba in 2013, the NGO provides refuge for survivors of abuse like Vivian.
My mom died 9 years ago, and my mom, the other sister, came to pick us. So this fateful day, our husband came back at night. He came to our room, so he raped me, kept on molesting me for 3 good years, since when I was 12. My cousin called some of the policemen at our side. We went to the police station and they detained him, and now he's still in the court.
Many children in this community centre experience violence and trauma. They are taught skills, counselled and educated about gender-based violence. The hope is to end the cycle of violence.
I want girls who are being abused to come out of their shells, out of the darkness. I want them to have a life, the life they've always dreamed of. Because in this trauma, they can't have that life.
Symbolising unity and resilience, cultural dance is integrated into today's campaign for the children, drawing more children in and making it a memorable day. But the fight is far from over.
Gender-based violence is never okay, and it's on all of us to stand together against it. Now, let's head to Lagos for something lighter, because while women face real challenges, we also embrace joy and adventure. Feeling safe makes it easier for anyone to enjoy life's best moments, and that's where EXP Lagos comes in. In a city as lively and unpredictable as Lagos, partying can sometimes come with a sense of vulnerability. And that's why they're using Danfo buses to help partygoers explore Lagos nightlife in a safer, more mindful way. Because at the end of the day, women deserve to feel safe, free and fearless while enjoying a night out. Don't we? Let's hop on.
Lagos, Nigeria is famous for its nightlife. During the festive season, people come from all over to just party. But how can you explore the clubs, bars and dance floors safely?
Hi, my name is Uzo Ume. I'm the co-founder of EXP Lagos. Welcome to First Friday.
Every 4 weeks, Uzo Ume takes around 40 people on a party ride through Lagos.
Welcome to the last First Friday of 2024!
The music is loud, the colors are bright, and the dancing is dynamite. But Uzo Ume still manages to make safety a top priority on every party tour.
As a woman, going out in Lagos every year progressively gets a little bit worse because of the safety element of it. We want to make sure that people come to a space and they're around people who respect them, who have love for them, and who show them dignity.
The tour introduces partygoers to Lagos's vibe, cramped Danfo buses, low lighting, and strong spirits.
Look at Lagos. On a Friday night, you see so many cars moving around. There's always traffic on Friday. So instead of getting 40 people to drive around in 10 cars, we're getting 40 people to drive around in 2 buses.
The bus rides are cheap and open to all. Uzo usually takes her crowd to a variety of popular clubs and dance halls. But she always starts at a bespoke address.
If, for example, you came to Mimu House today, you would have entered a Danfo bus for the first time, you would have come to a speakeasy for the first time, and you would also be trying Palm Spirits, Okogoro, for the first time.
The party bus comes with lots of positives, a great group dynamic, a support system, and a way to separate safe venues from sketchy ones. Massive pluses in a country where 1 in 3 women have experienced physical violence, and at least 70% of professional women report experiencing sexual harassment.
What makes this experience so unique is the inclusivity. EXP is a place where we have a hashtag that says no forming. Come as you are, be wherever you are, and we don't judge you.
Anyone can board Uze's bus. And we do mean anyone, as long as they're up for a great night out.
Man, they, them, she, he, we don't care who you are. Come out here and you will feel welcome, and we will make sure that your experience is safe. We make sure that you don't feel uncomfortable and no one makes you feel uncomfortable.
Lagos is not generally the safest city, but I felt really safe. Everybody was really well behaved, even though me and my female friends, we came on our own. So there was no harassment, there was no disturbance. We were even protected, you know.
I feel safe on the bus. There was no incident with police or one chance or any of Lagos regular stories. So yes.
When you get to the Danfo, being with people there, everybody shouting.
Judging by the faces of the people on this party bus, this seems to be the perfect night out. EXP Lagos has hit the right groove. An inclusive space for a hot night out on the town. And in the early morning hours, before everyone says goodbye, Uzo Ume has one final request.
First time in Lagos, already in Lagos, see you soon. We can't wait to have you on the bus.
That reminds me of my high school days in Abuko in the Gambia. We would run from one junction to the house after a school party just to avoid being attacked. So that's relatable. And I'm glad Lagosians are finding a way around that. Now, let's take a trip to Ethiopia's capital and the home of the African Union, Addis Ababa. Today, we're seeing the city on wheels. Sasina Chala, a trailblazing skateboarder, takes us on a tour of our city by carving through its streets with fearless energy. This rebellious star is about to show us the Addis you've never seen before.
Hi everyone, my name is Sasina Chala. I am also a skater, born and raised in Addis. And now I would like to take you to a tour of Addis. Come skate with me, please.
Addis Ababa is Ethiopia's largest city. The city's name means new flower in Amharic. It's a buzzing metropolis with a population of over 5 million people. At an altitude of 2,335 meters above sea level, Addis is Africa's highest capital city. Nestled amidst rolling hills, it's the perfect place for young daredevils like Sasina Chala, the founder of Ethiopia Girl Skaters.
Since I'm born and raised in here, like most of my childhood stories and memories are here. I love it for that. And career-wise, to be honest, since I started skateboarding in the city, and then also like a lot of skaters and people who are really interested in this kind of rebellious action and actually like this kind of unique kind of activity, they are here.
Renowned for its diverse cuisine, fashion scene, captivating music, and a rich historical heritage, Addis Ababa blends old and new. Let's explore one of its most iconic highlights on the first stop of our city tour.
And behind me, there is a monument of honoring a Battle of Adwa, where Ethiopian patriots fought against Italy in 1896.
The Adwa monument in the old city centre commemorates Ethiopia's victory over Italian forces in 1896. This solidified Ethiopia's independence and made it one of only 2 African nations to never experience colonization. For 26-year-old Sasina, it's a beacon of hope and inspiration for those fighting for justice and equality.
All of our ancestors are a rebellious one and heroes. So that is why we're strong enough to say, oh, we're Ethiopians, or we're like, we've never been colonized, or most of the like hero stories.
For Sasina, skating and cruising through Addis Ababa's streets is an exhilarating experience. Not just for the thrill of skating, but also because of the monuments that reflect the city's rich history and dynamic present. Few have more significance to Sasina than the Holy Trinity Cathedral.
The church is actually on renovation now, but most Sundays you will find me here worshiping. So let's take a look.
The church is known as Kidist Selassie in Amharic. Emperor Haile Selassie's remains were buried here in the year 2000. More than 1,500 people can comfortably sit inside the church.
It's a place where you will learn humanity. Addis Ababa is the city where you can find a young soul, a very young and old soul, where it's combined, gives really beautiful lights to everyone.
In recent years, Addis Ababa has experienced rapid urbanization and technological advances, making it one of Africa's fastest growing cities. In a country with over 75 different ethnic groups, there's a lot to see.
You really don't have to like go out of all of the part of the country. You will find a lot of things just in here, just because like all of the people from out of Addis, they come here and then they kind of have their own culture, build whatever they want to. And then let's say you want to eat the food specifically with the specific culture, and you can find that.
The African Union is headquartered here, and business people, diplomats and activists all meet in Addis Ababa.
Having like all the Africans and like learning all the cultures throughout all Africa, and then all Africans come here to do whatever they wanted to change Africa. I mean, this is the center of Africa.
For Sasina, Addis is more than just a city. It's home. It's the place that nurtured her rebellious spirit and encouraged her to challenge societal norms.
That's a place where you come and see all the mixed things, beautiful and ugly, and combined. Like, it's kind of really nice.
Addis Ababa is a place where you can defy the odds, shatter the status quo, and embrace life to the fullest.
Over here, every day is a day to celebrate women and remind the world of their limitless power. And we have many more reports and stories from across the continent. If you're not following us on our social media, go hit that follow button right now. We'd love to hear your thoughts on how women are breaking barriers and shaping a better world. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Fateli Kamloshi. I'll see you next time.